Hello, welcome to the Help Your Team Help You podcast. And today we will speak a bit of psychology by understanding how thoughts are connecting to feelings and how to identify the dysfunctional thinking. So understand that thoughts are connecting to feelings and interpretation of experiences in a negative and biased way has emotional consequences. For example, negative view of the future, expectations that everything continue in the same negative way, or problems to sustain relationships. Understand also that what you think is what you feel. Events trigger your thoughts, which then produce your feelings, which may then determine your behaviors. And events do not directly produce your emotions. So you get the idea, feelings and thoughts are connected. So move on and let's identify the dysfunctional thinking to cure bad feelings. So here is a different kind of dysfunctional thinking. First, all or none thinking. When you think like that, everything is perceived to be either full on or full off. If something isn't fully completed, right or perfect, then it's entirely unfinished, wrong, spoiled. Is it really all or none? Just because there is one problem, does it mean that everything has been real? Are there any positive outcomes? What is the evidence that everything is correct? Second, dysfunctional thinking is overgeneralization. This happens when one example of a mistake or error is interpreted as a pattern of mistakes and errors. One error does not mean multiple errors. Can you learn to improve so that it won't happen again? Does it really mean that you have these characteristics all the time? For example, if you miss the train one time, it won't mean that you will miss it every time. Third kind of dysfunctional thinking, mental filter. One negative part of the picture is examined to the exclusion of the larger positive part. Is this part that you are focusing on the real full picture? Have you misinterpreted the big picture? For example, during an annual review, you could have some positive and bad feedback, and a mental filter will, for example, focus only on the negative feedback. Minimizing the positive. Dismissing or ignoring any positive comment, achievement, or compliment. What is the evidence that the positive comment can be dismissed so readily? This can happen also if you all the time do not consider the positive comments that people do about your work, for example. Fifth, dysfunctional thinking, jumping to conclusion. You think negatively about something without supporting evidence. These are two errors. Mind reading, you think without any evidence that someone is thinking negatively about you. And the other one error is the fortune teller error. You truly believe that you know what will happen in the future without evidence. Have I any evidence from which to derive this conclusion? Do I know what that person is thinking? Do I have any real evidence of what will happen in the future? This is the kind of question you should ask before jumping to conclusion. Sixth, dysfunctional thinking, catastrophizing. Negative things are magnified to seem bigger than they are, and positive things are minimized to be smaller than they are. You should ask yourself, is the problem so big? Have I not appreciated my achievement? Seventh, dysfunctional thinking, the emotional reasoning. Thinking that how you feel inside reflects the true reality. For example, if you feel unloved, you believe that no one loves you, even if there is evidence that other people care a lot about you. Just because I feel sad, anxious, upset, miserable, doesn't mean I am in reality a miserable, emotionally inadequate person. You should ask yourself, do I really need to feel so miserable about this event? Is it really worthy of my feeling of misery? 8th, dysfunctional thinking, the should statements. Thinking in terms of should, must, and hows impose a view about the way the world is, which may not tie in with reality and which induce emotional unhappiness, resentment, and guilt. Why should it be like that? It might be easier if it was that way, but it doesn't mean that it should, must, ought to be like that. 9th, dysfunctional thinking, labeling and mislabeling. This is where a person gives themselves or others an unhelpful label based on very little evidence, such as when a person who makes a joke that falls flat labels themselves as a loser. You should ask yourself, is that truly accurate name for that event, that person, for me? And last, dysfunctional thinking, personalization. This involves attributing blame to self for an event where the responsibility is not fully yours, only part yours, or not yours at all. You should ask yourself, am I really responsible for that? For example, you are at a party and you see people that are not really happy, look sad, etc. And you ask yourself, is this about me? Is it because I'm here that these people are sad? This is a kind of dysfunctional thinking of personalization. Thank you, and maybe see you in the next podcast episode.